this app doesn't use that stuff. Give me a sec. Whoop-de-doo, guys. It's another video. What is this called? I think it's called Wizard. I don't even know what it's called. It's basically DnD, but mobile and single player. Right now I have life 12, mana 14, gold 0, morale 0, a bunch of buttons up here. And a cool fucking picture. You're a young wizard, seeking treasure and glory. You're walking along a path in the forest, one day's journey from Ring City, your beloved home. Night has just fallen, and you're thinking about how it might be a good idea to find a campsite. After all, you're in goblin territory, and it's dangerous to travel in the dark. Suddenly, you smell something awful. Reginald, are you responsible for that outrageous smell? You ask the warrior striding ahead of you. Pray no, I am always down, wind from my companions when I squeeze the bellows. Reginald answers. You realize that you have never encountered this stench before, and it is close. And perhaps it's your imagination, but is that muffled breathing you just heard? What do? Shout a warning to Reginald, dive flat on your face, hide, stop and listen. If I shout a warning to Reginald, any possible thing around me is going to hear that. Dive flat on my face if it's not something trying to fly at me. I'm just going to be on the ground and easy to attack. Hide. Stay out in the open, because in the bushes was where they're hiding and then we can't see them. Stop and listen is probably the safest option. No, okay, yeah. Mana decreases by 2. Morale increases by 2. No need to panic yet. No need to panic yet, you think. You grab Reginald by the shoulder and gesture for him to be quiet. The two of you stand motionless for a few long seconds before you hear low, wheezing sort of breathing. Reginald must have heard it too, because he raises his sword defensively. A series of snorts is followed by several goblins with green-tinted skin charging out of hiding towards you. With an arcane word and a flourish of one hand, you send a bolt of fire into the leader of the charge, who drops to the ground, rashing and thrashing in flames. Reginald hacks down another with his sword. The remaining 3 run away, whooping and yipping. I can't read in that voice anymore. Soon their cries are joined by others from the dark forest all around you. Many calls from far too many goblins to fight. Toe to toe. It is a hunting party tracking wild game, I wager. Human is a delicacy, much better than mutton, Reginald says. You regard the 2 dead goblins on the ground. Dead goblins are worth 10 gold pieces per head in the city. Luckily, you don't need to carry their heads around. The city authorities will accept their left ears. What do? Cut off the ears. Just run. Just cutting off the ears, that'll get us currency. Currency can get us shit. But, that'll also take time, which means the goblins can stick their swords up our assholes. So if I just run, I can probably get shit later. And screw it, cut the ears off. Get the ears, you exclaim as you pull out your razor-sharp dagger from your belt. For a second, your sometimes slow-witted warrior sidekick doesn't understand, but as soon as you start sawing away at the first ear, he gets the idea and fishes out his own dagger. Soon you have a bloody goblin ear stuffed into your pocket, and Reginald has one of his own. Nasty? Very. However, 10 gold pieces are nearly 6 months of wages to a common laborer. So you're willing to take the hit. What now, Reginald asks. Certainly there are excellent places to hide in the forest, if we can just make it until morning. True, the goblins may have dogs, and their own sense of smell is keen, you say. We might climb a tree then. That would at least be defensible, Reginald suggests. You wish to be treated like a fox with goblins barking underneath. If you wish a position that is both defensible and allows some freedom of movement, we should hasten to Castle Inverness. It is near, and we could fortify ourselves behind those walls, Reginald says. You frown. It is a fortress, yes, but inhabited by what? Gods? Gods know what manner of creatures may have taken up their residence in that ruin over the years. Hide in the forest, garrison into the ruined walls, climb a large tree. Garrison into the ruined walls. Castle Inverness is near. Let us take refuge behind those stone walls, you say. Goblin hunting calls echo from around in the forest as two of you dash up the path, 100 meters or so, where you find a fork in the road. The path to the right appears to be seldom since it is nearly overgrown. The path to the left is clear, and you think you see firelight down that way. Could this fire belong to the goblins? Or, if you're lucky, is it a campfire of other friendly adventure party? What do you do? Castle, never question a wizard, investigate fire. Investigate fire. I'm an adventurer, damn it. Boldly you step forth near a wuss. Coins 1, luck 1. So I've got 10 gold, 2 morale, 11 life. So it turns out the fire does belong to the goblins. What did you expect? You're in goblin country after all. You've come up to a clearing with 2 goblins staring hungrily at the rack of mutton sizzling over a fire. Apparently these guys are more keen to guarding their next meal than joining the rest of the hunting party. Before you can decide whether to turn back or kill them, one of them spots you and springs out. Reginald shoots this one with his bow, while the other runs off. What a cowardly lot they are. You run back to the fork in the road and head toward the castle. On the way, you hear a whistle in your ear, then another. You hear a whistle in your ear, then another, and then feel a sting just above your hip. They have bows. The wound isn't bad, it's a small arrow shot by a weakling, no doubt. You pull it out without losing stride. After a minute of stumbling down what is best described as a game trail, you see the shadowy husk of the ruin in the moonlight ahead. Unfortunately, the battle cries of your pursuers are closer than ever, and when you look back over your shoulder, you see glowing eyes. The 2 of you turn on a boost of speed, and soon the outer wall of the castle looms before you. It is about 10 feet high and crumbling. You realize with honor that there are no holes on this side that are large enough to fit through. Meanwhile, Reginald, a faster runner than yourself, has disappeared around the north corner of the wall. A short spear whistles past your head. You look back and see that at least 4 of these little beasts. Oh, those aren't too bad. What do you do? Follow Reginald, jump to the wall. Spell mana 1. Try and blast them. 4 mana. Hell yeah! Die, filthy vermin, you shout as you turn to face your pursuers. They are not far behind, and you only have to wait a few seconds before they are in range. You shout your spell trigger word, and a gout of flame erupts from your outstretched hand, engulfing 4 goblins. They scream shrilly for a moment, and then fall silent as their flaming bodies crumble to the ground. No more goblins are visible, so you run to catch up with Reginald. As you round the north side, you see him above a selection of partially crumbled wall. He helps you scramble over to the top and onto rotten gangplank. He grins at you and nods in the direction you came from. Gods, you have struck terror into the advance party. However, they will call for reinforcements. We have the wall. The question remains, can we hold it? We could go in. You point to the castle, keep beyond the courtyard. The castle is 3 stories tall, or at least it had been before most of the top floor collapsed. The second story is barely any better. The fortress is as lifeless and still as a painting. Nevertheless, you wonder if anyone is looking back at you from the dark arrow slits of the first door. What do you suggest? Prepare a wall defense. Gods know what's in the castle. Let us fight only one enemy at a time, you say. Soon, The forest around you is dotted with glowing sets of eyes. It is difficult to count them as they appear and disappear behind the trees, but you guess 20 or more. Surely they will attack from all sides at once, says Reginald. They can see at night like we can see in the day. You consider the long, dry grass of the courtyard below, with some lamp oil. You could start a fine brush fire down there. The light of it could perhaps even the odds of these nocturnal creatures. You could even cast a spell upon the fire to create a blinding flash. But you're not sure what you want. Sure you want to leave the wall to carry out such an unconventional plan. They may attack while you are away, leaving only Reginald to defend the walls. You wonder how long the goblins will take to muster their forces. Your question is immediately answered as you hear a battle cry, high-pitched, furious, and seemingly on the edge of panic. It erupts from the forest as a tide of little green evil eyes surge forward. What do you do? Blast them, run for the castle, set the courtyard on fire, Without a moment to lose, you jump down into the courtyard, empty a flask of oil onto the dry grass, and light it. The fire spreads rapidly. You ascend a ladder against the wall to rejoin Reginald. Gods help us, they come from all sides, you shout. Reginald does not answer as he works his bow. Thrum, thrum, goes the string. Soon several of the goblins have scaled the far wall. 2 have dropped down into the courtyard, while other charges upon the rickety battlement walkway toward you. Others follow, and then still more from the east and west walls. You can see them clearly thanks to the courtyard bushfire. You dare not wait any longer. Reginald, close your eyes, you shout, and let loose the spell. Crack. You see the bright pink behind your shut eyelids. The fire has become a brilliant flash of brief pulse brighter than the full daylight. You wait a second. It will take that long for the flare to die down. Now the little monsters are shielding their glowing eyes and screaming. One of them stumbles headlong off the battlement. Kill them all and be quick about it. They will not be blind for long. You shout as you reach into the folds of your robe and pull out a dagger. Reginald slings his bow and unsheathes his long sword. The goblins, still standing, are now waving their short swords and spears blindly in front of them. Reginald effortlessly bats these weapons aside with his long sword. With a single mighty cleave per creature, he cuts the goblins down, one after the other. For you, using the blade to dispatch the foes is demeaning and dangerous. Blind or not, those vicious little monsters will slash and bite for their lives. Nevertheless, a long knife requires no mana, so you quickly get to work. You jump down into the courtyard where you have more room to maneuver, and run behind each goblin. Thrust in your dagger and immediately spring backward before your victim has a chance to swing at you. You smile at yourself. You're really on a roll. Gods, I hate goblins, you think. Just as you consider singing a song, you better mock the blinded quarry. More of the little beasts come. A lot more. They scuttle over the walls like cockroaches. To the castle, you shout. Once across the courtyard, you open the large wooden double doors which shriek on rusty hinges. Inside, Reginald slams and bars the doors. The entrance chamber is large, with a high vaulted ceiling. The stone walls are cracked and flaking. The ground is strewn with loose rubble, and the air is stale. Aside from the double doors behind you, there are closed wooden doors on the north, east, and west walls. Near the north door, there is a stairway going up, but it is blocked by rubble. It is not long before the front doors begin to rattle violently. Your nearby arrow slit. You can see glowing eyes and the glint of axes chopping away at the door. You're not sure how long the barred portal will hold them. Reginald wants to hide deeper into the castle, on the other hand, this place smells of death. It might be prudent to take a few seconds to investigate the room indoors. What do you do now? Let's go. Or search the rooms indoors. Let's go. Oh, fuck. Reginald opens the northern door and gasps. The light of your lantern streams into the doorway to reveal a huge muscled monster stooping over. He holds a massive spiked club in one hand and a melon-sized rock in the other. He bursts into the room, driving Reginald back. Okay, yeah, no, that thing is gonna whoop our ass. Neville's tongue. It's an ogre, Reginald shouts. The ogre slams his club against Reginald's shield, sending him careering into the walls. The ogre then throws the rock it was holding at you, clipping your shoulder, spinning you completely around. The ogre smiles a jagged toothed grin, and bends down to pick up another rock from the neat pile on the ground just inside the doorway. You need to act fast. Blast it, Man of 4. Use charm spell. Let goblins in and run through another door. Use charm spell. I've only got 3 mana left. Fuck. Oh, I'm so fucked. Okay. You read somewhere that ogres, although mighty in strength and stench, they are weak-minded fools. Quickly you cast your charm spell and point to the ogre before he has a chance to attack. His eyes slits of rage only at a moment before now widen, and he gives you what you suppose is an ogre smile. Your trans-species courtship is interrupted as the front door of the castle bursts open like a tidal wave crashing on the beach. The heap of goblins falls into the room, creatures one on top of the other. A chorus of glee erupts from their fanged mouths. The ogre roars in rage, throwing his rock at the first goblin, striking it in the chest with such a nasty crunching sound that you are certain the goblin will never get up. You decide it's time to leave this party. You and Reginald nearly collide in haste through the eastern portal. Once through, you slam the door closed. From the entrance chamber you just left, you hear the goblin yips of triumph turn into screams of terror that are immediately drowned out by an earth-shaking snarl. Next you hear the sharp slapping of flesh against flesh and the wet sound of bodies ripping apart. Jeez, that's fucking gruesome. You run from one room to the next. The particular charm spell you used on the ogre only lasts for a few minutes, and so you want to get away from the monster before then. The ogre is not much of a housekeeper. The castle is full of giant cobwebs and broken furniture. Finally, you enter a larger room, a dining room, as evident by a long wooden table and 2 fireplaces. You motion to Reginald to stop, and you both listen. Faintly you can hear the far-off sounds of battle from behind you. You can't leave that way, you think, of course. You think, of course. Do you really want to leave anyway? There may be treasure about. Your steps slow to a crawl as you try to make up your mind what to do. Investigate the sound. For glory and the loot, you think to yourself as you take the lead. Oh shit. You quickly realize that the sound seems to be coming from this very room. You creep over to the other end of the dining hall, and you see a young woman sitting on the ground, chained to a fireplace, rocking back and forth and sobbing. Her cries break off, and she looks up at you with such an expression of fear that quickly turns to surprise. Who are you? She asks. You tell her your names and that you are here to smite evil while making your fortunes. This brings a smile to her face, a pretty smile. You suspect, although it's hard to tell under all the dirt smudged on her face. She gives her name as Siba, or Kiba, Siba, and says there is a key to her chains on the table. Sure enough, besides cracked and dusty china, there's a small brass key. As you set about unlocking her, she tells you that she is a merchant's daughter who's traveling with her father's trade caravan when it was attacked by a mighty ogre with a small band of priests of an evil god. Wearing dark cloaks, those of her party not killed in the initial attack were taken prisoner and chained up in this room. One by one they were taken away by the priests, never to return. They took my father, Siba sniffs. No doubt he is slain, but I must try and find him. Will you help me? Oh. Here, give me a sec. Yeah, okay. You ask if she has any idea where her father or the others might be, but she knows little of the rest of the castle. Reginald takes you aside and says, ought we to take her safety and then look for her father on our own? She will be in danger traveling with us. You agree that having some half-starved, unarmed merchant's daughter tripping along behind you will only get her killed. But where is safety? Last time you checked, the courtyard was crawling with goblins, and according to her, the castle residents are not very good hosts. What do you do? Escort her out? Well, where would we even go? Because there's the war of the goblins and ogre, which is now probably finished because the ogre's charm spell is probably off now, and he's probably gonna kill us with the goblins. Like, where the fuck are we gonna go? Hide her and move on. Send her on her way. Chain her back up for now. I guess hide her and move on. There are a ton of hiding places in this room. You find a nice pile of rubble for her to hide behind, a few rooms away. You tell her to keep quiet and that you'll get back to her. Stay still and quiet here. We will return. Well, if we do not return by morning, escape as best you can. You instruct her. Clever, Reginald says as you leave her. If the wizards of Siba missing, they will not expect her to remain in the castle. With luck, they will leave the castle altogether to find her. And we can explore unhindered, you say with a smile. Wow, okay, so a lot has happened. I don't think I need a recap, but I'm gonna give one anyway. So yeah, that's gonna happen. Basically we started off on a forest, going to some place, ended up getting attacked by a bunch of goblins, found a campfire, ended up finding out that was more goblins. Then they all killed us, or tried killing us, as we found a castle, went into the castle, found a girl, unlocked her, hid her behind rubble, and now we're here. Oh, I forgot the ogre. Yeah, there's an ogre too. I'm calling it Shrek. I really hope I can charm it again. And then I'm calling it Shrek. Wow, okay. I think my voice is gonna be fucking dead from this video. Jesus Christ. This is... Personally, I freaking love this game because I love DnD. Yeah, I'm a nerd. If you want me to, I can actually probably someday get the boys together and we'll just play like 4 hours of DnD and I'll edit it to a way where you guys don't have to go through 4 hours of D&D. I'll just, keep the highlights. Editing shit. Why am I telling you this? This is what all editors do. Anywho, I think I'm gonna end the video here. Because, I'm tired. Even though it's fucking 4:58, I've recorded 6 videos today. Edited a few of them. Every now and then they're raw runs. And I don't even think all of them are gonna get uploaded. So, yeah. But if you guys want more of this, comment, I guess, because like goals sure as hell ain't working. Yeah. Like, comment, share, subscribe, the fucking usual. Alright, guys. Have a great day.
Like a Hellcat.